Hello, mummies. So today is the 4th of August and I'm feeling tired, but I'm feeling encouraged. And today I want to encourage you by showing you what to do with credit card repayments, why it's important to pay off more than the minimum balance, and the consequences of not doing so. Before I do that, I'll tell you, here's a quick clip, and I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and this mission, and then we'll jump straight into the credit card balances. Finance for Mummies is brought to you by the House of Jordan. From my home to your home, from my heart to your heart. We talk everything wealth, health, and self because my transformation needs to be shared. And if I can make it, you can too. My background is corporate and commercial finance, but before I was able to live the life of my dreams, I started my life as a 16-year-old runaway, pregnant 20-year-old, and a single mum from a week before my 21st until my daughter married at 23. From the moment I looked into my daughter's eyes, I had one top priority: to ensure that she had the best life possible and started out on the right foot. I'm here to say that we did it. We made a beautiful life together, and I know you want that too. It took me 23 years to understand, apply, and refine the balance between wealth, health, and self. And there is so much more that I could have done if I'd known sooner, or so much more that could have been achieved if someone had taken me under their wing. So here I am. I present to you my education, skills, and life experience so that no other woman has to take 23 years to find the balance. Currently, there's estimated 12.6 million females in Australia. That is more than half the population. And I want to make sure that this touches every one of those women so that all of you can live the life that you have dreamed. Women are still earning a lot less than men. We're down something like 15% comparison salary. Our superannuation gap is almost 30%. So there's a long way for women in Australia to go to ensure that finances can keep up with the lifestyle we have grown to love. If you think that you have made it already, please support this channel by commenting, sharing, and inviting others to share this channel. Organise for me to come and see you at your workplace and to present to women in your women's groups, because as women we want to make sure that no other women get left behind. I have a few ways you can connect, of course, here on the YouTube channel, so please don't forget to subscribe. You can also join our Facebook group, Finance for Mummies AU, or you can visit our website, www.thehouseofjordan.com.au, to check out our free resources, as well as sign up to receive invites for our workshop and signature retreat by the House of Jordan Women's Retreat. So here's a run through of how to try and figure out this whole credit card repayments thing, because it can be a little bit complex. Now, each of your credit card providers have been required by legislation for a number of years now to advise you on your statements how much your minimum repayments need to be and what that looks like by way of how many years it will take to pay off and the interest that will accrue in that time. They're also required to say what would it look like if you made advance payments. However, I know that if you're under credit card stress, the last thing you're going to do is be reading through that credit card statement. So it's really the last thing you want to know about. You don't want to look at it. You don't want to see it. But here's the thing. This is what's going to help you progress and try and pay down that credit card and get rid of that debt. I am absolutely having a war on debt. I am done with the way that credit card providers are predatory in the way that they behave and the way that Afterpay, they all look like that they're doing you a favor, but just remember they wouldn't be in the business unless they were a charity. Okay, so their intent is to make money from you. Let's just look at their interest rates. So their interest rates, so they're saying that we're going to lend you some money and we're going to charge you 18% interest on that. Let's have a look at what that looks like for them. Okay, so let's just say you have a very calm and casual $2,000 and you max out that credit card and you sit that aside and you think, okay, I've really, what's $2,000? I'll just keep paying the minimum repayments, and $40 a month isn't really going to hurt me. Now, how do I know it's $40,000 a month? $40, not 40,000. $40 a month is that it's usually a percentage, around 2% per month. Everyone's slightly different, but usually it's 2% of your outstanding balance per month. So, credit card maxed out at $2,000 on an 18% interest rate. If you make your $40 a month repayments over the life of that loan, you will end up paying back more than the principal. So the principal is what you spent on. So you remember what you spent. Some of that you might have only spent $1,000, and some of that's already accrued interest. But let's just say at the point of having spent on the credit card, and then what the interest is on top. So for the $2,000, you will you'll end up paying back $3,862 in interest. How long will that take you? 19 years and 4 months. There is the reason why this is unacceptable. You might actually say, look, for the $2,000, I had no choice. It was an operation, or a life-saving scenario, or family was ill overseas. Absolutely, it happens, and you might need to call on your credit card. What to do next? If you've got it, don't just settle for paying off that minimum repayment, because you'll be paying it off for 20 years. Here's what it can look like if you start making higher repayments. So let's just say you add an additional $40 a month. Let's actually just pay off $200 a month. It's going to be paid back in less than 12 months, so less than a year, in 11 months, and you will have only paid $148 interest. Now that is where a credit card can work out okay for you. So this is what I was talking about. You must be able to either pay it back in full or pay it back rapidly and very quickly. That difference from $40 a month to $200 a month is like an 18-year difference. That's an entire childhood for somebody. It's, that is lasting longer than many relationships do this day, many cars do this day, household furniture. You could be trapped with that credit card debt. So the best thing for you to do is pay that down. Now, if I were in an urgent situation, I would actually see that, yes, okay, $148 on a credit card. It's still $148 more than what I would like to spend in interest, but was it worth it? Well, in that scenario that we just discussed, the urgent, the teeth, the family emergency, if I didn't have cash, I would trade being able to access that for $148. But at least I know. At least I know what I'm up for. At least I know how I'm planning to pay it back and what I'm going to do about it. Now, I would think that almost everybody could find, and I say this in Australia, where we're the country of opportunity, everybody could find an extra $50 a week. Is it going to be easy? No. We have to work hard for it? Yes. But if you were to pick up a second job, you could find an extra $50 a week. Cleaning, DoorDash, Uber Eats, affiliate marketing, there's lots of different options. So $50 a week to have this paid off in less than a year, to be able to have the advantage of that scenario, versus leaving it where the banks would love you to leave it so that they can accrue this $3,800 interest. Now just remember, that was on a $2,000. What if it happened to be $20,000? And I have seen many, many, many women in $20,000 of credit card debt. So if you're sitting there going, sounds impossible, it is not. It is absolutely not. It is more common than what you realize. So I'll carry on with it. Look what happens to these scenarios. It's going to take you 57 years to repay it. and you're going to pay back almost, or definitely more than double, almost triple in interest. It's not acceptable. It is unacceptable. And this is why credit cards are a problem. This is why you need to banish your debts. Do you know how you have to work hard for that money? Do you know how much money that you have to earn to have that after-tax dollars to repay? So that's $60,000. That's about an $80,000 a year job. $80,000 a year, take away about your $20,000 in tax, and then you've got your $60,000 to repay that. That keeps you trapped in a job that you might not like. That keeps you trapped in all sorts of scenarios and situations. But it happens. So what to do when it happens? Okay, you have got to get laser focused. I think is it one of the people talk it, what do they say? They say it has to be, like it's like a road runner or something. Anyway, just laser focused on repaying that debt. You can't have that hanging over your head for 60 years. Do what we did with the other one. Look, how's the quickest you can pay it back. Now this one's going to hurt because you'd be looking at around $1,000 a month. Now $1,000 a month is going to be a little bit harder to find. What about if we upped it up? Instead of $1,000 a month, let's go 1,600. Right, so we've got $400 a week you have to find. And you say, Heather, I got in credit card debt for a reason. I didn't have $400 a week. This is accrued. Okay, but look at the difference. Right? So instead of $400 a month, you're going to pay $400 a week. That's going to be hard to find. However, here's what you can do. It's 1 year and 2 months versus 57 years of your life. It's 1,900 in interest versus 57,000 in interest. So you're going to do whatever it takes, within reason, no photos of feet or anything like that necessary, but you're going to find that $400 a week because you need financial freedom. The future you needs to be able to have choice, needs to be able to take advantage of opportunities as they come up, and having a debt this size will mean that you are trapped. So how can you find $400 a week? That is tough. What are your biggest expenses and how can you get rid of them? If you are renting, can you move back in with a family or friend for a 1 year period? Your immediate thought is probably going to be no, and what a hassle, and there's moving costs, and there's going to be storage costs and all that kind of thing. Figure it out. This is 56 years of your life. 56 years of your life. So some people's entire lifespan that is going to be changed if you can find a way. Instead of finding all of the problems and the reasons why it can't happen, find a way how it can happen. This is really important. So 56 years of your life versus 1 year of inconvenience. How else could you find 400? Can you look at, if you own your own home, can you look at paying interest only for a period of time? Now, if you've got a $20,000 credit card, it might be difficult to refinance and do an interest only. Ask the question though. Until you've asked the question, now ask a question through a broker. Don't go direct with your bank. All right, so talk to a broker first because they can make sure that they do all of the numbers in the background before you approach your bank. But is that possible? The next thing that you could do is rent out a room. Rent out 2 rooms if you have to. All the things that stood before, stand again. Cleaning job, Uber Eats, affiliate marketing, whatever it takes to buy that 56 years of your life back is worth it. Now here's one I saw the other day. I was distressed beyond belief. Must have had a higher interest rate. Let's go. Now this, and I just need to adjust this because it's still, yeah, this is more like it, so maybe it's 21. This is closer. Okay. $24,000 credit card. Must have been around 20% interest. It was 122 years to pay back. That means for the rest of your life, you are tied into a debt for the sake of $24,000. Now, in this scenario, it was almost impossible to find that kind of funds due to long-term family illnesses and other things, right? So it happens. What do you do when you're in this scenario? Here's what you do. You find a way. Can you find a way, instead of paying $480 a month, find a way to pay this, the higher amount? It'll be gone in 2 years. 2 years worth of pain, 2 years worth of sacrificing maybe your privacy by renting out home, maybe the convenience of having your own place rather than sharing with family or friends. If you don't do it, it's up to you. But 2 years versus 115 years. I mean, 115 years, nobody really lives to 115 years anymore. That goes beyond your retirement years. Really, at that point, you're going to be paying out the debt. So you're going to spend your entire working life putting $480 a week, over $100 a week. What could you do with $120 a week? That's a nice amount to be able to spend on other things. So you're going to go without that. You're foregoing $120 a week, and you're also working your entire working life, so say up to 67. You're either going to have to continue paying into retirement, or you might actually pay it out from super at that point. But here's some other ideas. There are things called consolidation loans. Am I a fan of them? No, I'm a fan of this here. However, sometimes it's really hard to get on top of. There's other things called 0% balance transfers. Is that easy? No, because basically what you're saying from one bank to another is you're saying, hey, I've got a debt, I'm struggling to pay, do you want my debt? And so they take quite a risk. Now, because they're taking a risk, when you come off that 0%, you'll find that the interest rate is much higher. So it's a good thing to do if you commit to paying it off in this 2 years. It'll help you get on top of it, and the interest won't accrue over that time. So it is helpful. You just have to make sure that your strategy is sound. But look at this, $157,000. That's a lot of money. Like, I don't know. I know in my life a handful of people who earn that in a year. I don't know too many. It's a decent salary. It's certainly a decent salary for Queensland, Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne. It's probably a little bit more average, but $157,000 in interest. So you work a whole year of your life just to pay off the interest on this $24,000 you accrued on a credit card. So from that alone, there's really no choice. Wow, how eye-opening was that? Hope you enjoyed that or got something from that. Maybe you didn't enjoy it, but there's certainly something that is important to hear and understand. So what I want to take you through now, just to close out today's chat, is my 5-point plan. And if you're tired of seeing online 5-point plans, I understand. I get tired of seeing them too. But this really is a proper 5-point plan. These are the 5 areas that you can look after in your finances to make sure that you have healthy finances. Having healthy finances is key to having good health, good wealth, and to being able to find that balance that we're looking for. So, 1, decide what you want your life to look like. This is where health self and wealth find a balance. You know, there's no point working your whole life to just survive. You know, find what you're dreaming, find what you want to work towards, and make sure that you create that life. Number 2, set a budget that will support that life. There's lots of ways that you can approach a budget. Most people find it boring. I don't think so. I think that that is the thing that's going to get you the number 1, that life. Life of your dreams, life of your desires, life that you've chosen. However it is, it's your life. So make sure that you have a budget to support that. Do you need more income? Do you need to take a job that isn't so stressful? Do you need to have less expenses? Do you need to have more expenses? Do you need to be allocating more to things like cleaning or to self-care so that you can have a better balance? That's where that budget to support the life that you choose is important. Build an emergency fund. Debt, lack of funds is absolute dream killers. That is the thing that's going to get you stuck in a life that you don't want to be part of. So emergency fund is essential. Banish bad debts. Like I said, they're the things that are going to be dream killers. Bad debts are anything that is not earning you an income or increasing your wealth. So we're going to work on getting rid of those. And then when we have all of that, we're going to work on investing, because investing is a way to protect and grow your wealth. Wealth meaning that whole package, self, health, wealth. You know, wealth means that you don't have to just live paycheck to paycheck, or you're not reliant on an income, but you've got the balance in your life that you need. So until next time, think these things through. It's my 5-point plan. These are the things that I spent 23 years getting right, and you'll learn along the way how many times having one of these areas right at any one time saved me. So love bringing this to you and wishing you a wonderful week. We'll talk soon.